Hi everyone, welcome to Bonnie's Kitchen. And Christmas is coming, the goose is getting fat. Who'll put a penny in the old man's hat? If you haven't got a penny, then a half a penny will do. If you don't have a half a penny, God bless you. One of the jingles that I sing every Christmas, getting ready for Christmas. And today we're gonna bake. We're gonna start our Christmas baking frenzy. Yep, my house is starting to get decorated. You can see my coffee bar there that I've put together, and just little things to brighten the day. So today I've got my Christmas apron on, and we're gonna bake some memories. When we bake, it reminds me of my past, it reminds me of the present and the future. Christmas is a season of hope, a hope that the world can't take away from us. The hope is in our hearts. So let's get baking. Okay, you can see here I've got every thing set up. Now, this is the best secret of baking, that you get everything prepared. So my oven is on at 350. I've got my cookie pans ready to go, and I've got everything laid out. Now, this recipe that I'm making came from my grandmother, and it's called sugar top ginger cookies. And I, in my baking, have added some different twists to these old tried and true recipes. So please see the twists that I put into this. Okay, I have started in my food processor. I'm using 1 cup of shortening. Now, I've told you before, my grandmother, my mom, lived through war and depression. Butter was not easily accessed, but shortening was. So they used a lot of shortening. But also, shortening does, in some recipes, add a different softness and chewiness to cookies that actually tastes good. There's less water in shortening than in butter or margarine. So that's what I'm using. So as usual, we're going to cream our shortening. This is 1 cup of shortening, and to that I'm going to add 2 cups of granulated sugar. During the war and depression, they certainly used everything they had, and whether it was with coupons to buy dried bananas or coupons to get that pound of sugar, Christmas was always a time that they used everything they had. Now to that, I'm adding 2 eggs. And mix that really well. I always mix that so it looks like light and yellow, so it's really nicely blended. Now, to that, I'm going to add, well, first of all, I guess I should add my molasses. Molasses you can buy from the bulk barn, which I do, or you can get it from Loblaws, but we need 8 tablespoons. So I'm going to add that. 1, 2, 3, one more. Molasses is sticky. It gets into everything. But oh boy, it's a must with anything that is gingerbread. And I'm just going to cream that. I'm adding just a squirt, a teaspoon or so of vanilla. And of course, I'm going to just scrape the sides just to make sure everything is blended well. There, that's good. All right, let's set that aside. Now, I have 4 cups of all-purpose flour, and to that, I'm going to add 4 teaspoons of baking powder and 4 teaspoons of baking soda. Okay, so I've got that 4 cups of flour, 4 teaspoons of baking powder, and 4 teaspoons of baking soda. And I am going to add, and I'm not going to measure too much, I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of salt and then spices. We need cinnamon, 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, and this is what makes gingerbread or ginger cookies. And we're going to add 2 teaspoons of ginger, ground ginger, and cloves. Did you guys used to watch Leave It to Beaver? Do you remember June Cleaver and how organized she was? I can't say I'm June Cleaver. I think I'm an ordinary cook, an ordinary baker. Of course, everything's clean and fresh. But you know what? Stuff goes on the floor. Stuff is everywhere. But you know what? That's okay. That's me. So there's all that mixed together. Now, this is my twist. Are you ready? I buy ginger, crystallized ginger. My mom loved ginger. My mom ate this like candy, and it is so good. I buy this from the bulk barn, and what I've done is I've chopped my ginger, and I'm gonna add this to my cookies. Now, if you have kids and they don't like texture, this may not be for them, so eliminate this. I've done this for our family that enjoy this. So first of all, I'm going to add the ginger to my wet ingredients, and then slowly I'm going to add my flour, spices to that. So you can watch me do that. I've added my last cup of flour. Now, do you notice that sometimes when you add flour to your food processor that it poofs out like smoke? I found a secret to that, and if you put your a tea towel over, you won't get that mess. So I'm going to mix that last cup and then we'll go to the next step. Okay, so my batter is all mixed. It's quite thick, and I'm ready to roll these into balls. And I'll show you what I do. I don't know what memories you have. I wonder what memories you have of Christmas. My memories here is with 3 sons and a husband. Somebody got to lick the beater, somebody got to lick the spoon, and somebody got to lick the pot. So I wonder, I have great memories of that. My mom loved to bake, and my mom would bake well into the middle of the night. Good memories of that. What memories do you have? And I'm making memories now. I'm making memories, sharing my recipes with you that I've had for years. And this cookie would add to a wonderful plate of cookies to give to a neighbor. Okay, so this can be messy. I'm going to take my cookies, and I have some granulated sugar, and I'm just going to roll these in. And I'm going to line my, about an inch apart, all this dough. So watch me go. Okay, my cookies are ready to go into the oven. This recipe will give you about approximately 8 dozen cookies, depending on the size. More if you want to make them smaller, and less if you want to make them big. So I'm going to and I put them on parchment paper. Best investment for cleanup. So I'm going to put these in the oven at 350 for about 8 to 10 minutes. You do not have to press them down. They will spread perfectly on their own. I have a tip for you while I'm waiting for my cookies to bake. Why don't you, I don't know if you have this, but the best investment I have is a small vacuum that, this is a Shark, but I've had other brands before, but it's small enough to keep in the corner of your kitchen, hide it behind a broom or in a cupboard, and then for small spills and that, it's quick to pick that up. That's another trick that I've learned that has saved me some time. So that's your commercial for the day. Okay, here are my cookies. You see how they've crinkled a bit? This is the way I want it. I had another idea. I'm going to try. These have to cool a little bit, but I thought if I would put a little piece of ginger on the top, it would be like cherries. What do you think? Push them in a bit while they cool. These are hot. If you want it to be a crisper cookie, keep them in the oven longer. I had these in for about 10 minutes. But I'm going to let these cool completely before I transfer them onto my rack there. I want you to know, as I've been doing this, my apron is a memory. I made this years ago for my mom, and it has was made from a old sugar bag, and it has the footprints of my oldest son and my middle son, and guess what? We had baby number 3 come before I gave this to after I gave this to my mom. So I need to put my youngest son, he's right there. So, but this is a memory of my mom, my kids, and the memories that we make at Christmas. Well, the cookies are done, and I sure love the idea that I had at the last minute of putting some of those chopped ginger bits on top. So it adds a nice flavor. So please give this recipe a try. I think you'll really like it. I love sharing memories with you, memories of these old tried and true recipes. And if you're interested in more, I will be baking more. There's what? Christmas is coming, the goose is getting fat. Who'll put a penny in the old man's hat? The recipe, the ingredients will be linked below, and please subscribe, and see you again. Have a great day.